Today's a WRAL weather alert day due to our risk for flash flooding. As a matter of fact, both Chapel Hill and Durham have a flash flood warning in effect right now. I'll explain what that means.
We also have the WRAL storm tracker out on the roads this morning, monitoring the road conditions as you head out right now. Then Felicia Street in Durham that saw a lot of flooding during Chantal. We'll check in with WRAL's Kelsey Coffey coming up.
And we'll give you this live look. I-440 eastbound in Raleigh. A crash on the Beltline involving a person hit by a vehicle. We'll take you out there live. And this is a live look right now as we bring you inside the WRAL studio right now. There's a bit of a backup there as folks get their way around that terrible accident there. I'm Jeff Hogan. It's good to have you with us here as we get our Wednesday started together.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey in for Renee Chu. We have a lot to get to this morning, but first we want to start with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner and the WRAL Severe Weather Center showing us where that heaviest rain is falling and a flash flood warning in Durham.
We've seen some very heavy rain falling in Orange County and Durham County. So this is where we have a flash flood warning. That means that we have the potential, or we actually have flooding that's happening. So far, we've seen anywhere from 1 to almost 3 inches of rain in this warning area. And this is the same area where we saw flooding during Chantal. So we're talking about Morgan Creek and Chapel Hill, the Eno and Durham. Watch those areas very carefully. You saw there at the beginning of the newscast, Kelsey Coffey is in those areas that flooded. She's checking it out. Now, some of that heavier rain is starting to move into western Wake County right now and then up the I-85 corridor. So this is going to be ongoing all day. You may not be seeing very much rain to the south now, but it is coming later this afternoon. Here's a look at Futurecast. We'll continue to see the heavy rain from the Triangle area northward through the morning. And then starting at lunchtime, a heavy band of rain comes through and will add to what we've seen this morning and yesterday. And we could see more flooding across our area later on. And that does cover the entire viewing area as that moves on through. We take a live look at RDU. The rain is coming down very heavily at the airport right now. So it is a WRAL weather alert day for that risk of flash flooding. And that does cover most of our viewing area. Here's a look at Chapel Hill. That rain's still coming down pretty heavily here. Our temperatures are in the 60s and we'll climb into the mid 70s this afternoon. We'll take another look at how much rainfall we could see and how many more days we could see it coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, at 6:02 already a rather busy morning. You can see a handful of incidents right now dotting our live traffic map, but the real troubled spot, let's get right over to the WRAL storm tracker. We've been monitoring these situations all morning long. Kelsey Coffey, photographer, Mark Alexic. Right now you're on Felicia Street in Durham that saw a lot of flooding during Chantal about a month ago. Kelsey.
Yes, Ken, exactly a month ago today. We'll give you a live look now at road conditions. So you can see here that we don't have any flooding in this area in particular to worry about. We have noticed a little bit of ponding here and there. It's the same situation that we saw on the other side of the Eno River just in the last half hour over on Rippling Stream Road. But we'll just keep you updated on the conditions here. We have noticed that the rain has been very heavy at times, so this is something that could impact your visibility. Slow down, give yourself some extra time because you want to be careful as you're out here on these wet roadways. But Ken, what can you tell folks ahead of their morning drive?
We do have one troubled spot to report. It's I-440 eastbound, a crash investigation. Chris Lovingood is in the WRAL Live Center. We'll have some more information about it, but we know at least one lane of traffic is getting through on that northern loop of the Beltline, I-440 eastbound near the Wake Forest Road exit. As for major routes coming into the capital city, relatively no delays whatsoever if you're coming into Raleigh. Similarly, over in Durham, we're not seeing any delays on any of those major routes, which is really good news considering all the rain that we're experiencing. Because of all these rain, you're getting ready to head into the car. Things are constantly changing traffic-wise. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Chris Lovingood here in the WRAL Live Center, picking up what Ken was talking about, that situation on I-440 East near the Wake Forest exit. We have more information here as our photojournalist on the scene, Charles Bradley, says that Wake County's Bureau of Forensic Services has just arrived here. And here's what we've learned within the past 10 or 15 minutes or so. Now, we do know that a pedestrian was hit, a man, and he is so badly injured his life is in danger, according to investigators. And that's why police are asking you to avoid I-440, the eastbound part of that near the Wake Forest Road, if you can. This closure is going to be in place for a few hours, according to Charles there on the scene, him talking with investigators. Traffic, it looks like it's moving in one lane there, but for the most part, it's pretty slow as they're continuing to reconstruct what happened there. The question that we have is why exactly there was a pedestrian here when this happened. As soon as we learn more information in terms of specifics in this case, we'll report it here on the WRAL Live Center.
Well, power is back on for hundreds of homes in Durham after an outage this morning. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker of crews working on Roxborough Street. Duke Energy reported an outage for more than 600 customers around 3 o'clock this morning. The utilities outage map listed the cause as fallen tree limbs that damaged equipment there. The power was restored just after 5 a.m.
The woman who owns the boat that crashed at Harris Lake and killed a 10-year-old girl is expected to be in court this afternoon. Brooklyn Carroll was hit and killed on the lake over the weekend. She was a rising fifth grader at West Lake Elementary in Apex. Jennifer Staley is a social worker at that school, and she was also badly hurt in the crash. Anne Marie Flanagan owns the boat that hit them. She and her boyfriend, Quentin Kite, were both charged. Investigators say Kite was driving, and they say they recovered nearly 40 beer cans from that boat. Kite has a history of DWI in New Mexico and a pending charge in Moore County. Brooklyn Carroll's family has released their first statement since the crash. It said, in part, our lives were shattered when our daughter Brooklyn died. For the 10 years that she was alive, B filled our lives with joy and laughter. The Carroll family is asking for privacy as they grieve.
A Durham mother whose 4-year-old died in an accidental shooting will be in court today for an involuntary manslaughter charge. The shooting happened back in June. Police say Kamari Patterson died after he found an unsecured gun and accidentally shot himself. Tiara MacArthur was charged after turning herself into police. In an interview only on WRAL, MacArthur says she is taking responsibility. She says she does not want any other parent to go through what she has.
I will never be okay. I will never get to see my son again. I'll never get to hear my son tell me he loved me. I'll never get a kiss from my son. My daughter will never see her brother again. She talks about him all the time.
MacArthur says that after her son's death, she will never own another gun. She is encouraging other parents to get rid of theirs. And Raleigh police are looking for the person responsible after an armed robbery at Publix. This happened yesterday on Peace Street near Capitol Boulevard. Police say nobody was hurt.
A North Carolina police officer shot and killed a man who was suspected of trespassing. Greensboro police say someone flagged down an officer to report the possible trespasser. The officer found and questioned that man, but police say he refused to comply with commands. And then police claimed the man grabbed a weapon and moved toward the officer with it. That's when the officer shot the man and killed him. The officer is now on administrative leave.
A person is dead after being hit by an Amtrak train in downtown Clayton. Amtrak says the person was trespassing on the track when they were hit. Sky 5 flew over that scene between O'Neill and Fayetteville Streets. The train was stopped for almost 2 hours before continuing on to Charlotte.
I want to pull you back here to the WRAL Live Center because whereas our breaking news tracker, Ali Kadlubar, was there in Durham where there was that outage, that has since cleared. But it looks like there's another outage situation that popped up here in Durham. Let me move a little closer to show you this. We're talking about 739 when you click that, and it shows you a little more detail here if you hit the cause of it here. That's what I'm trying to figure out. It looks like it's saying for the time being, let's see if it pops up there, in terms of the cause, that's unknown. But as soon as we have more information on that and when the power is expected to be returned on, we'll, of course, report it here on the WRAL Live Center.
Today, we'll learn more about how state education leaders will address a 27-page wish list proposed by the superintendent of schools. North Carolina Board of Education has spent months discussing that 27-page proposal from Superintendent Mo Green. The plans include increasing community engagement for schools and students, helping schools make career development plans, and expanding teacher recruiting and training. WRAL Education Insider Emily Walkenhorst says both Green and the board understand just how massive this proposal is.
Green says it's ambitious. One board member joked at the time, I hope I'm still alive to see all this happen. Green has worked with the State Board of Education to revise the strategic plan, and that's what he'll present today.
The board is expected to take up a vote on the proposal as early as tomorrow.
And today, UNC head football coach Bill Belichick will address the media. He'll be joined by the team's offensive, defensive, and special teams coordinators. The Tar Heels season opener is less than a month away. They will host TCU on Labor Day. WRAL will be in Chapel Hill today to hear from Belichick. We'll have more on what he has to say in our evening newscast starting at 4.
Governor Josh Stein is calling for federal funding to help recover from Chantal. The storm brought torrential rain and flooding to our area a month ago today. Stein has officially declared Chantal a state disaster. The move frees up money to go directly to people in need. That order covers 6 counties in our area, including Wake and Durham counties. The governor's office estimates Chantal caused more than $40 million worth of damage.
Time now 6:10. Sick from raw milk, a tainted batch sent several people to the hospital in Florida. The information health officials there are giving about where it came from.
Animals not accepted. The Nash County shelter is unable to take in surrendered pets. What owners who go to neighboring counties to drop them off are being told now.
And we were just talking about Chantal and all that heavy rain in Chapel Hill and Durham. That's where we have a flash flood warning right now. I'll show you how much rain has fallen and how much more could fall.
And here are your winning Mega Millions numbers: 12, 27, 42, 59, 65. The Mega Ball is 2.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:14 on this WRAL Weather Alert Day, where flash flooding is a real possibility. As a matter of fact, we do have this flash flood warning that's in effect for Chapel Hill and Durham. Fortunately, the rain is beginning to taper off, but a lot of times when we have heavy rain come through, there's a little bit of a delay before all of that moves into the creek. So we're watching Morgan Creek in Chapel Hill, of course, the Eno and Durham, places where we saw flooding with Chantal. The heaviest rain is starting to move over into Wake County, and it's possible that we would see that flash flood warning extended into Wake County. We'll let you know if the Weather Service does that. We'll kind of widen out the view, and you can see some of the heavy rain from Apex, and that stretches all the way up toward the Virginia line. It's been pretty quiet down south, but coming up, I'm going to take a look at Futurecast. I'm going to show you another round of very heavy rain that comes through this afternoon, what time to expect it, and when it could arrive where you are, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Already a busy morning out on the roadways because we've been monitoring this crash investigation on I-440 eastbound near Wake Forest Road. We know that a man was hit by a car, suffering some serious injuries. He's been taken to the hospital. Right now, here's a live look with the help of photographer Charles Bradley of that scene. Traffic is getting through at least one lane, but you can see first responders still there on the scene working that crash scene on I-440 eastbound there at the Wake Forest Road exit. In terms of other major routes coming into the capital city, you're looking at a 3-minute delay if you're using I-440 eastbound. But relatively speaking, all those major routes into the capital city are relatively delay-free. We're going to look at the drive times coming into the Bull City coming up in less than 5 minutes, Jeff.
Got your hands full today. Ken, thank you. Raw milk is being blamed for nearly 24 people getting sick in Florida. 7 people have been hospitalized. Florida health officials would not name the producer of the milk, but they did confirm it all came from the same farm. The health and safety of raw milk has been a heated debate across the country. In North Carolina, state lawmakers considered banning the retail sale of raw milk. That legislation was put on hold.
And the Nash County Animal Shelter is making strides in its efforts to be fully back up and running after a failed inspection forced it to close. A spokesperson for the county says they've hired 2 additional animal control officers and 1 office assistant since the closure. That leaves only 1 position to fill before the facility is fully staffed. They've also updated their policies to ensure better documentation. They still cannot accept owner surrenders. Neighboring counties say that could lead to more pets being dumped, but they can't take them either.
Most agencies don't take animals from other counties simply because we don't have the space for them. We struggle day to day just to handle our own citizens in our own counties.
Nash County officials say they hope to be able to accept animals surrendered by their owners starting late next week.
The search is intensifying for the man accused of killing 4 people at a bar in Montana. Michael Brown is on the run. Authorities want him after 4 people were shot and killed Friday. Governor Greg Gianforte has signed an executive order to provide more financial support in the search. Nearly 40 agencies have been involved in that manhunt.
A wildfire in Washington state has grown to around 5,000 acres. The Bear Gulch fire is burning just west of Seattle. Rain is expected to help slow the fire down, but it will not stop it. Investigators are still looking into what started the fire. They believe it was caused by human activity. 30 homes have been evacuated so far. And dozens of North Carolina firefighters are helping fight those wildfires out west. These are pictures from a member of a crew from Madison County. They are part of the crews fighting the fire in Washington state. More than 45 North Carolina Forest Service employees are heading to western states as part of response efforts.
The Charlotte area was hit with heavy rain and flash flooding. Officers responded to several water rescue calls throughout the day Tuesday. This is one of them here. Take a look. A Charlotte officer on the right side of your screen there, chasing a car down, running after that car to get their attention to tell them to stop driving through the floodwaters. Police say that driver went between a tow truck and the police car to get onto the flooded road. The car was able to get back out to safety, but drivers are urged to avoid driving into flooded areas just like that. We say it all the time, turn around, don't drown. That is enough. Look, he's pointing ahead, Elizabeth, at the water where it's flowing sideways across it. That could sweep your car away easily.
It can, and that's where most people die during flooding. It's not in their homes because the water comes up. It's because they're driving around and they ignore the water on the road. So just be very careful. Of course, the same system that brought all that flooding to Charlotte yesterday is what we're dealing with today. We're going to see heavy rain on and off. We've had a flash flood warning in effect, still in effect, for both Orange County and Durham counties this morning, and we have that flooding potential for all of central North Carolina. As we get through the afternoon in particular, we're going to see another round of rain. Here's what it looks like right now. Here's our flash flood warning. Chapel Hill and Durham, same area where we saw all that flooding from Chantal. Now, in Chantal, we saw in Durham County as much as 4 to 8 inches, but 8 to 12 there in Orange County. We may not see as much rain as that, but still you want to be careful, especially around Morgan Creek and Chapel Hill and the Eno and Durham. Just watch out for areas that tend to flood fairly easily. Well, so the heaviest rain is starting to move eastward into Wake County. We're waiting to hear if the Weather Service will issue a flash flood warning for Wake County, but they may end up being able to cancel that warning there in Orange and Durham County as that rain starts to move on out. No reports of flooding, but sometimes it takes time. You know, the rain falls, and then eventually it heads into the creeks and they start to rise. So sometimes there's a little bit of a delay there. Durham County saw 4 to 8 inches during Chantal, and Orange County 8 to 12. Again, I don't think we'll see anything that heavy, but 4 inches certainly is a possibility. We've seen at least radar estimates of almost 3 inches. As a matter of fact, there it is, northern Durham County at 3 inches, about 2 inches closer to Hillsborough, and about 1 3/4 inches over toward Chapel Hill. So we're not done with this just yet. The heaviest rain moving into Wake County. And then up the I-85 corridor, we'll see more rain in our southern counties later this afternoon. That will push eastward. We do have a medium risk for flooding for today, and it goes back down to a low risk Wednesday and Thursday. But we still have that risk, of course. And we take a look at Futurecast, and we're looking, of course, at that potential for more rain in our northern counties in the next few hours. But later this afternoon, big heavy band comes through, and that's where we could see more flooding. We may not see any severe winds, but definitely a lot of heavy rain, and that will continue into the evening. Temperature-wise, it's going to stay cool today with 74. We do continue with that chance of some showers and storms. So try to check in on the potential for that coastal low, which has a chance of bringing us some more heavy rain as we get into the weekend. So wet pattern out there, Ken.
Absolutely wet, and we're also seeing some really busy roadways out there already. We have the WRAL storm tracker out on the roads this morning, checking in exactly what's going on. Kelsey Coffey and photographer Mark Alexi are driving around. Right now in Durham, they're on I-885. You can see the windshield wipers are going. I can't stress enough, give yourself some extra time as you're heading out this morning. Really and truly, this is a situation that we're trying to figure out exactly what's going on in terms of a situation on Horton and Duke Street there in Durham. We've got Ali Calabar and Michael Joyner there as well, but all the major routes in Durham right now are delay-free. We're trying to figure out exactly what's going on in Horton and Duke Street. As soon as we get more information, we'll let you know, but you're getting ready to head out the door. As busy as it is, tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Ken. New but unclean clothes that you buy at the store may be hiding things you don't want against your skin. 5 on Your Side explains what could be lurking on your new outfit.
And early voting questions. The locations for polling places in Cumberland County are up in the air. What's being done to make sure people can cast their ballots?
And if you see breaking news or have a story tip or take video or pictures of the weather where you are, please report it to us. Go to WRAL.com/reported to send your video, pictures, or tip right to our news team.
And with that, we take you out a live look. RDU International Airport this morning. Definitely want to check to see if there's any flight delays coming out of this weather. We continue our team coverage of this morning's weather right after this.
VMA nominations and an all-star cast for George Clooney's new Netflix film.
Ken Smith here now with what's trending on a Wednesday, Ken.
Yeah, Jeff and Michelle, Lady Gaga heading the pack in nominations for this year's MTV Video Music Awards. She racked up 12 nominations, including Artist of the Year and Best Album. Bruno Mars and Kendrick Lamar could also be gearing up for a big night. They picked up 11 and 10 nominations, respectively.
Very cool. Voting now open on the MTV website, so go cast your vote. The award show will be September 8th, so we'll have to see who comes out on top. But that's impressive. She has a lot.
Very much so. So check this out. George Clooney taking on the role of an actor in his newest movie. Clooney will be playing a fictional actor named Jay Kelly in the movie of the same name.
So is he acting or is it? Hey, we know this. Laura Dern is in it. Adam Sandler is in it. So some big names alongside of him. The movie's coming out in theaters in November. It'll be on Netflix in December.
It's funny to see Adam Sandler in anything other than like a comedy, right? Because he always does those comedy things. But it looks like he still is holding on to a little bit of that comedy in that one. So. All right. Thank you, Ken.
Ken, thank you. Elizabeth, I hear there's rain on our heads.
Boy, we do. Some of that rain from Chapel Hill and Durham is pushing eastward into Wake County. Still the warning in effect there in Chapel Hill and Durham, in the same place we saw flooding during Chantal. I'll show you how much has fallen there and what we're expecting through the rest of the morning.
And the WRAL breaking news tracker on the road on this WRAL weather alert day. This is a live look in Durham right now, where there is a crash at Horton and Duke Streets. Our team coverage of the conditions continue after the break.
And this is a live look at I-440 East, where investigators say a pedestrian was hit. We're taking you live to that scene for an update in the WRAL Live Center.